Yo, is your attitude one of when you help somebody, you help them, right? Meaning, you follow through, right? You're going to see him to the end, right? You're going to be there with him until the job is done and completed. Or is our attitude, I'm only going to help so much, and then somebody else going to have to come in and step in because I've done my part. Is that your attitude? Your help only goes so far, and you're only going to do so much, right? Because the Bible tells us in Matthew chapter 5, verse 41 of how we're supposed to do. We're going to get into it. So the question this morning is, how far are we willing to go? That's the question. How far are you willing to go, right? Are you willing to go with someone to the end and see the thing through to the end? Are you willing to go as far as not just to make sure that you've done your part, but you do extra? You do a little above and beyond measure, above and beyond what's expected, right? Is that your character? Is that your makeup? Are you the type of person that you help and you help completely? Or is your help only to a certain point or a certain extent? You know what I'm saying? We all need help at some point in this walk. But is that help going to be with you until the end of the assignment? Are they going to be obedient, right? And continue to walk and not give up and not get faint, right? Not get tired, not get frustrated. A lot of times that's what happens to us. We get tired and we get frustrated and we get worn down, right? Because we're trying to do things in our own strength and we're not being prayerful and being led by God about it, right? So when we get tired in our own strength and our own flesh, then we feel like we've done enough, we've done our part, and we want to stop. But you haven't done enough, and you haven't done your total, complete part, right? And you figure, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I haven't done my total part. I didn't walk with this person. I didn't be with this person through thick and thin. I didn't help them through tragedy. I haven't turned my back on them. Okay, and that's cool. But is the assignment done? Is it complete? See, the assignment doesn't have an expiration date. It doesn't have a time limit. The assignment is until it's completed, until it's done. You dig? And I'm not talking about y'all, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about that time when y'all was out kicking it, you and your girls. Or you and your boys, right? And one of y'all got way too messed up, right? And then somebody had to make sure, you got to the house, so they put you in the cab, right? They put you in the cab and they send you home. They tell the cab driver where to take you, right? And drop you off because they figure you ain't too toe up, right? But same thing with your girls, right? Y'all out kicking it. So what you gonna do? You're gonna make sure your girl get home safe and put her in a cab and all of that, right? But more than likely, what's the difference between the two scenarios? More than likely, a man or men with their partners, they gonna make sure their boy get home. But that's about all they gonna do. Right, put him in the cab, tell the cabby where to take him, on the Uber, tell him where to take him, and hopefully he get to the house, or maybe your boy might make sure you get there, and at least get you to your front door and stuff like that, right? But usually a woman is gonna go the extra mile. She's gonna not just make sure her friend get home, right? But she's gonna get her in the house, right? She's gonna make sure she gets in the bed, right? She gonna put her in the bed, she gonna, make sure she lock her house up for her behind as she leave. Going the extra mile. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So when you look at it from that context, are we willing to go the extra mile for one another? You dig? Are we willing to go the extra mile when it comes to time, talent, and treasure, right? When it comes to finances, when it comes to, you know, giving advice, when it comes to having to give of yourself, whether you have to be a listening ear, whether you have to be a counselor, whether you have to just, be that friend to let that person cry on your shoulder. Use you as a sounding board so they can counsel themselves. I mean, are you willing to go the extra mile? Right? Are you willing, when someone needs prayer, are you willing to be the one to pray? And not just pray, but fast and pray. You dig? When someone needs an encouraging word, are you willing to be the one not just to give an encouraging word, but you go see that person. You go check on them, right? You give them a hug. You give them a smile. Doing the extra. A lot of us don't want to do the extra because we just don't want to do the extra, period, off the jump. But then when it comes to doing the extra, then we want to put a cap on our extra. We want to put a ceiling or a limit on how far we're willing to go. But that's not what God says in the word, right? Matthew 5:41 tells us how we should do and exactly what we should do. You dig? But before we get into that, just as God has given it to me this morning, fresh off the press, I'm giving it to y'all, literally. You dig? So listen, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so you're always notified whenever I upload content. And hit that like button. You dig? It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to the channel. It's free. And it doesn't cost you anything to share. So if you like the content and you feel like it's relevant, please share it on all your platforms. You dig? I'd greatly appreciate it. It would help the channel. And I'm just giving you what God gives me. You dig? All right, so now let's get back into this. All right, I'll give you another scenario just in case that one, didn't do it for you, right? You running late. You call your friend, I had to leave the house. I was running late. Can you please make sure, can you stop by the house and pick up, my kid, make sure they get to school and everything? I so appreciate it. Oh yeah, I got you. Don't worry, girl, I got you. But when you go by and blow the horn for the child to come outside so you can take him to school, that's all you do. You blow the horn, right? Hey, come on. You ain't checked to see if they got their homework, if they got their lunch, if they got their phone, if they have a phone, they got their house key or you ain't checked nothing. You just blow the horn out. Come on, let's go. Right? But going the extra mile is you're going to make sure they have all that stuff. They got you got your lunch, you got your phone, you got your key. You know what I'm saying? You got your homework. Did your homework? You got anything you got to make sure you turn into school today. You're going to do all of that. You're going to do the extra, and you're going to go the extra mile, right? You're going to make sure that they are solid. Because if they was rushing to work and they called you to drop their kid off, obviously they wasn't thinking about all these extra things that they normally would have made sure that child had, right? So are you willing to go the extra mile? Are you willing to do the things necessary that wasn't asked of you because you understand the situation, or you can relate to the situation, or you've been in this situation before? That's the question. Are we willing to go the extra mile? Are you willing to go the extra distance? Not because you was asked, but just because you understand doing things completely and you want to see things to the end, right? You want things to come out good. So you make sure that you provide for that. You have provision set aside for the extra, because sometimes the extra is needed. Doing just the baseline and what's necessary isn't enough. See, the word says in Matthew 5:41, whosoever compels you to go 1 mile, go with him 2. You did? Whoever compels you, whoever convinces you, whoever pulls on your heartstrings, whoever
has, just that there's something that they have, that you feel drawn to. You feel the Spirit telling you that you need to help them. You feel, like going the extra mile, like you have to go the extra mile. Then go that extra mile. You did? Because when someone has convinced you to go with them, you do all you can to do extra. Not just what they asked, but to do extra. You want to make sure that the assignment is completed and the job is done, right? Go that extra mile. Do that extra thing. They may not even have asked for it, wasn't even looking for it, had no idea that you were going to put that kind of work and that kind of time in. But that's what God has called us to do, to put that kind of work, to put that kind of time, to do the extra, to go above and beyond, you dig, what was asked or what's necessary. Because he's that kind of God with us, right? God goes above and beyond what's necessary for his children. So why should we not do that for one another? You dig? If someone asks you for, 50 cents, give them $1. Someone asks you for $1, give them $2. If someone asks you for $20, hey man, can I borrow $20? Give them $40. Go the extra mile. Do the extra, because it's going to bless you and it's going to bless them, and God is going to be glorified. You dig? Someone asks you if they can, have some of your time. Hey man, I need 30 minutes of your time, to help me with this or whatever. Give them an hour. Go the extra. Do the above and beyond, because that's what God does for us. Listen, let me give you an example. I'm sure we all are familiar with the Good Samaritan story, right? Where there was a dude, he was leaking, he was hurting, right? He had been seriously wounded, and folks was passing him by on the road. You know what I'm saying? Folks of different ethnicity and things like that, right? Different culture. They saw this dude leaking on the road. But yet, instead of going to him and seeing if they could be some kind of aid of assistance, they cross on the other side. Oh yeah, I ain't got time for that. How many of us have done that? How many have we seen somebody on the side of the road hurt? Whether they fallen, they might have been beat up, they might have even been leaking, you know what I'm saying? Stabbed or whatever. How many of us has been in a situation where we've seen a person like that and we just passed them by? I don't want to get involved. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on over there, and I'm not trying to get myself hemmed up from being some goody two shoes, and then next thing you know, I'm leaking. How many of us have been there that have said, no, I don't want to get involved. No, I got something else to do. I was on my way over here, so I need to stay focused what I'm doing and not get side distracted with something else. How many of us have done that? Have turned our eye because we don't want to deal with what we have seen because we don't want to get involved. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what the situation is. And because we don't know, right? Because we don't know the unknown, we'd rather just leave it alone. I don't want nothing to do with it because I got to do this. I got to do that. I don't know what's going on. I, right? So what happened? So the dude was leaking, and then here comes this brother. He sees what's going on, and he has compassion. Yeah, he was going somewhere too. He had something to do too. He was on his way too. And this dude had nothing to do with him. But because he saw the situation, and he saw that no one was helping this dude, what did he do? He had compassion, right? He helped the brother out. Not only did he help him out, y'all, but he went the extra mile. Not only did he get him the help that he needed, okay, got him somewhere to stay, got him some help to get him out of the elements to patch him up. Then he also made sure that man was provided for. He went above and beyond. He made sure that he didn't just have a room for the night, but he had a room for the week. He made sure the man could rest and have somewhere to stay and recoup and recover from his injuries. Not just patch him up and then be like, okay, cool, I done my job. Extra stays left. You know what I'm saying? No, he made sure the man was taken care of. He went to the innkeeper and said, yo, here's some extra change, you know, for a few extra days. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm finished with my business, what I'm doing, I'm going to come back by this way again just to check on homeboy and make sure he's straight. You dig? How many of us have that attitude? Well, we're willing to go the extra mile. We ain't got to be told to do it. It's just in us. And when we do the right thing, we're not just going to say, okay, I've done my part. I'm good. No, we're going to go the extra to make sure that person is really and truly good. You did? Yo, be blessed on today. I hope this word encourages you on today. Go the extra mile. If someone asks you to do something, do a little bit more. You dig? Because that's what God has called us to do. He's given us that kind of love. He's given us that kind of mercy. And that's what he wants us to do, right? How can we show our love? When we do extra. Your man Levon, I'm out. Remember, love, uplift, motivate, inspire, learn, laugh, encourage, and enlighten. Lamelli.com. And don't forget, it's hump day. Yeah, we halfway through the week, man. The rest of the week is all downhill. You dig? So please share this message with somebody on today so they can know that there's someone there that's going to have their back and go the extra mile. You dig? One love. Your man Levon. I'm out.